The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and future. Last night, the opener of this three-game set between the Milwaukee Brewers and California Angels might actually be a true preview of the American League Championship Series that actually took place in 1982. California drew first blood. Bobby Grich, a two-run double, then a sac fly from Reggie Jackson in the first put the Angels up 3-0, and then back came the Brewers. Cecil Cooper, a two-run homer, and the third cut the lead to 1. Then Jim Gantner, now sitting on a 17-game hitting streak, doubled to score Ted Simmons. After 3, it was 3-3. Then Bobby Clark, who, exactly, anyway, you see him up there in the upper left. He hit a solo shot in the 6th to make it 4-3 California. They took that lead all the way to the 9th, and then Milwaukee got to the California bullpen. Robin Yount tied the game on a single to score Ned Yost to make it 4-4. Yount is now sitting on a 10-game hitting streak. Then Cecil Cooper singled home Paul Molitor to make it 5-4, giving the Brewers a walk-off win. They're 18-16 and 9 back of Detroit. California's lead over the Chicago White Sox shrinks to 3.5. I meant to have a pregnant pause there, but not 9 months. Steve Renko takes a hard luck no decision as Corbett, 2/3 of an inning and 2 runs to take the loss. Mike Caldwell goes last night, and Bernard gets the win as second. So what happens? It's California-Milwaukee, the middle game on MLB Replay on Retro Sports Network. And so the only game we're doing from this Wednesday tonight, from County Stadium in Milwaukee, it's the first place California Angels and the mid-pack Milwaukee Brewers. Bruce Keeson going for the Angels, and Jim Slayton
Play ball
for Milwaukee. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ron Juckett. Glad to have you aboard on this Tuesday at lunch. First to 3 games this week. You'll see the Angels twice. You'll see them Thursday afternoon playing their Saturday game at Tiger Stadium against the first place Detroit Tigers. So a big week for California. And since we joined you last Thursday, we've moved the calendar forward from Saturday to Wednesday, and the Angels have dropped their 2 since then. They lost Sunday, and then they lost last night, as we said, to the Milwaukee Brewers. Should have a good one for you today, obviously. The Brewers come in 9 games behind the Detroit Tigers. If Milwaukee at 18-16 is going to make a run, they're now at the point, as we reach almost the quarter pole in this 1982 season, that they're going to need some help. It's going to be very difficult now, as we start week 7 of this replay, to make up 9 games. It's not impossible, but Detroit has to cool off. California, on the other hand, they were up 5, and now they've lost a game and a half on that lead. They're 25-13. They are cruising. Their bullpen is suspect. That's probably California's biggest Achilles heel, along with manager Gene Locke. All right, so it's Bruce Keeson and Jim Slayton, and we're going to get underway momentarily. As you take a look at the field, hello, Robbie and Tribe fan. We can also tell you that Rod Carew is hitting .407, and that's the best in the majors. It wouldn't be Rod Carew in this era if he wasn't challenging for a batting title. So for Milwaukee, it's Jim Slayton on the hill, 0-1 on the year with a 1.93 ERA. This is his second start of the year. Everything else has been out of the pen. Remember, he joined Milwaukee about a month ago, and in his first start against the Chicago White Sox, he took no decision. 6 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked 4 and struck out 2. And he's going to have his hands full with this California Angel team. The lineup that Slayton will face, Brian Downing will lead off and play left field. Rod Carew hitting .407. is at first. Bobby Grich will bat third and play second. Reggie Jackson cleans up in right. Don Baylor, the DH, will hit fifth. Doug DeCense, the third baseman, bats sixth. Juan Benitez is the center fielder for California. He'll bat seventh. Tim Foley, the shortstop, bats eighth, and Bob Boone, the catcher, will bat ninth. Defensively around Slayton, Ben Ogilvy, I didn't realize he was that good of a left fielder, 9 and 7. Gorman Thomas, 7 and 6 in center, and Marshall Edwards is 8 and 6 in right. Don Money is at third, he's a 7. Robin Yount at 10 at short. Jim Gantner is a 6 at second, and Cecil Cooper is an 8 at first. No Paul Molitor in the lineup today. Ted Simmons is your DH, and Ned Yost, future World Series manager, will catch Slayton. He's a 2 and a 1. The Brewers are 18 and 16, and 9 games behind Detroit in the American League East. It is a rainy night here in Milwaukee. Light rain and hardly any wind. It's the 19th of May. California in first at 25 and 13, and they have a 3.5 game advantage over the 1983 champion Chicago White Sox. So with all that underway, let's get ready to roll. Slayton's ready. Downing steps in at 228, 4 homers and 11 RBI. Slayton delivers, and there's a fly ball to deep to center. Back goes Thomas, and that's how this one starts with an out. So Rod Carew, 44 for 108. That comes up to 407. There's 16 RBI and 3 triples. He had 5 in the real year, 3 already. So Slayton, 1 out, delivers to Carew, and that's a base hit up the middle. In the left center field, a one hopper that it showed left center, but it's telling me that Money made the bad play. So it's between Money and Yount. Glad to see that old bug is back in the scoreboard, or the chalkboard. So Carew put one past Money, and now he's hitting .413. So 1 out and 1 out for Bobby Grich at 248. 6 homers and 24 RBI. Slayton delivers, and there's a ground ball to Money. The only play is at first. It's a bang-banger, and he can't get it. Grich beat it out. So the Angels are sitting pretty here in the first. And here's Reggie Jackson at 315, 10 homers already, and 24 RBI. The computer does not like this matchup for Jackson. We'd like to thank Windows 10 for that lovely little... Pay for the ads, gosh darn it. OneDrive, pay for the ad. Anyway, what was I saying? A 15% chance, 16% chance of a strikeout. Slayton is not a strikeout pitcher. In fact, he's walked 9 and struck out 7 on the year. He delivers, and Jackson hits this one into center. Thomas is going to dive. And he dives and can't get it. It gets past him. Carew will score. Grich will hold at third. And Reggie's on with a double. And it's 1-0 Angels already. And that brings up the DH Don Baylor at 238, 9 homers and 25 RBI. So 1 out, and California has a run on the board and 3 hits. Baylor's ready. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to right. Edwards into foul territory. Makes the catch. Grich is going to try to score. They're going to try to get Jackson at third. The throw down is not in time. Edwards actually made a sliding catch on the track to get there, and everybody moves up 90. So it's a sac fly for Baylor, but really, Edwards probably saved a run there. His pants, all pinstriped with blue, have got a bit of mud on the knees in the light rain. But 2-0 Angels, and here's Doug DeCense at 271. 7 homers and 19 RBI. Not the start the Brewers were looking for. Remember, George Bamberger is still the manager here. No, he's not. It's Buck Rogers. Harvey Keene will come later, and the Brewers will get it into high gear. Pitch to DeCense is a little liner to Money, and that retires the side. 2 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. We played half an inning here in Milwaukee. The Angels give Bruce Keeson 2 runs. Milwaukee coming up. Is it game 48? Okay, so it's coming up, and I'm not even sure right now that Keene is going to make that much of a difference unless the Tigers can do something. Yeah, cheeseheads keep you warm at night, Clinton. Oh, that's right. And remember, for Clinton and Clinton only, Marcel Marceau is doing the play-by-play in the special Dave Letterman booth. So Bruce Keeson is 3-0 on the year with the 1.30 ERA and 34 2/3 innings. He's allowed 24 hits, including 1 home run. This is Bruce's 6th start. He has yet to pitch against Milwaukee. He has not thrown a complete game. His last time out over the weekend against Cleveland, 8 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. He walked 1 and struck out 2. He now has 8 walks and 21 strikeouts as he picked up his 3rd win of the year. That must have been Saturday. And his nickname, by the way, just between you and I, and Clinton who can read this, is Sweetie. Oh, honey, isn't that nice? And so here's the lineup he'll face. Jim Gantner will lead it off. He's sitting on a 17-game hitting streak and is hitting .342. Robin Yount's on a 10-game hitting run. He'll bat second. Cecil Cooper will bat third. Don Money will clean up, and he's not done that this year. He's only hitting .208. Ben Ogilvie in left at .236 will hit fifth. Storming Gorman Thomas will hit sixth. Ted Simmons is your DH today. He'll bat seventh. Marshall Edwards, who saved that run in the top of the first, will hit eighth. Ned Yost ninth, and Jim Slayton threw 14 pitches in the first. So Downing a 6-3 in left. Juan Benitez a 2-5 in center. Reggie Jackson a 3-6 in right. Heart of the Angels is the defense in the infield. The Sensei a 9 at third. Foley a 6 at short. Rich a 7 at second, and Carew a 7 at first. And Bob Boone will be great for Keeson. He's a 10 and a 9. And so here's Jimmy Gantner, the lefty, at .342. 2 homers and 16 RBI. Keeson delivers, and there's a fly ball to right, or popped up, pardon me. Rich is there, 1 out. Sky high, a rainmaker, if you will. And there's 1 out. There are times I feel like John Sterling here. 273 for Yount, 9 homers and 22 RBI. And that's right, he must be in the front row. Pitch from Keeson. Yount hits a base hit in the right field between Rich and Carew, and his inning streak moves on to 11. And with 1 out, Milwaukee's got a runner on for Cooper at .286, 4 homers and 23 RBI, and this is the 35th game for Milwaukee. Here's the pitch to Cooper, and that's a base hit between Foley and the Sensei. Yount will round second and hold, and so now there's 2 on and 1 out for Don Money. For Clinton's edification, because he can't hear us, here are the standings. And as you can see, Detroit has won 9 out of 10. And they have a run differential now of 110. That's the best of anybody in baseball. You'll see them Thursday afternoon against these California Angels. The Brewers are 9 back at 18 and 16, but they've won 2 straight, and they're a better home team than road team. California 3.5 over the White Sox. Texas has lost 10 straight. They fall to 9-23. 1 National League game this week, and that'll be Philly and Atlanta. Atlanta 4 back of the Dodgers, and Philly 7 behind Montreal. And now is a 4.5 game bulge over the slumping St. Louis Cardinals. Both the rest of the games this week are Saturday games. So here's Don Money at .208, 2 homers and 5 RBI. Pitch from Keeson, popped up left side to Sensei in the foul territory and makes the catch for the second out. That's good. So here's Ben Ogilvie at .236, 8 homers and 24 RBI. Keeson delivers, and Ogilvie hits this one. Foley on the grass makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors. We played one, the Brewers strand 2. It's the Angels 2, the Brewers nothing. So here's Benitez, Foley, and Boone to face Jim Slayton. Keeson threw 16 pitches in the first and Slayton 14. Slayton's pitch just a bit outside. Benitez takes the walk. First walk for Jim, and here's Tim Foley. He's a good candidate to hit and run or bunt. At 305 with 14 RBI. Benitez with a long lead off at first. Throw back, and Benitez is back, but that didn't do too much of anything. Pitch out, Benitez will hold. Nothing going, but Foley will square. And now Money and Cooper come in on the grass to play the bunt. But Benitez is sure, he better steal second. He's got a 95% chance. Slayton delivers, throw down to foul. It's a hit and run was on. So now it's a ball and a strike. And someone spilled some Miller Lite on themselves. So 1-1 to count. Slayton's ready. Infield still in at the corner. Pitch to Foley. There goes Benitez. It was a hit and run. Yeah, it's only plays to Cooper. And Foley is retired. So Benitez moves to second. 1 out for Bob Boone, who's at 233, a homer and 14 RBI. Clinton Clinton just had his day made. Dave Bautista is playing the Beast Raban in the new Dune movie. Well, it can't be any worse than any of the other Dune movies. And Sports Time Machine asks how we pick games to do, and Clinton responds incorrectly that I borrow Al's monkey. The monkey poops a coffee bean and throws it at the schedule, and there's your game of the day. Wow, Clinton's not bitter at all. Someone just typed nods in the chat, so Clinton thinks he's right. How you doing, ID? Uncle Ron, and so we'll get to that in a minute. Let's get between innings or something like that. So here's Bob Boone. I gave you his numbers. Benitez on second. Glad to have you along, ID. ID in Stratomatic, Delaware tonight at 8 on ID Jester's channel. Oh, by the way, must see streaming. Slayton delivers, and Boone hits a ground ball to Gantner, who makes a fantastic stop in front of the bag. Throws to Cooper for the out. Oh my goodness. On that wet grass, because it's not a hard rain, but it will slow it down. Gantner just got in front of the bag and made a bang-banger throw to Cooper to get him. So 2 out, and Benitez on third. Slayton tips his cap to his second baseman. In 26 pitches, he's thrown to 9 batters, an inning and 2/3. The 2 earned runs, 3 hits and a walk. Downing flew out to deep center to start the game. 2-0 Angels. Downing, fly ball to center. Thomas goes back to make the catch. But Jim Gantner saved the runs. What a play. No runs, no hits, and no errors. After an inning and a half, it's the Angels 2. The Brewers nothing. Study and cold for Dave Gardner. Dave, did they have to do the thing with your irises today, or your retinas? I always love that at the eye doctor. Bubba Husky is in the house. How you doing, sir? So Gorman Thomas at 209, 11 homers, and 22 RBI. Hi Beats, how are you doing? You honestly want to hear how I come up with the schedule of the games? Remind me again about halfway through. I'll pop on camera about halfway at the midpoint, and I'll tell you that story because I like telling stories. It's how I've earned the nickname Uncle Ron. Storming Gorman Thomas is at 209, 11 homers, and 22 RBI. Can't see anything right now. I remember, sorry about that too. Pitch to Thomas, ball 4, or as Bob Uecker would say, just a bit outside. First walk for Keeson. And here's Ted Simmons, the DH, at 262, 6 homers, and 12 RBI. Thiessen delivers, and Simmons hits this one high and deep to right, but Jackson is there for the out, and Thomas goes back to first. Yeah, zero fun. So I remember, they gave me the last time I have done, they give you the fake little sunglasses to wrap around. So you look like an old dude already. Marshall Edwards, by the way, 2 for 12 on the year, hitting 167. 247 on the real year with 2 homers and 14 RBI. And so my wife is looking at me funny as I get off, and she goes, "We'll do the appointments." And so I made the mistake of going in the bathroom and looking in the mirror. And I took the thing off. And now I've never gotten stoned in my life, but my eyes were so big, kind of like what happens to the cat after you give a catnip, that I almost made myself sick. It scared me, that little queasy thing, it just kind of scared me that much. Anyway, what's Marshall going to do here? He can bunt and he can hit and run. Infield is playing back. And Marshall's going to lay one down here. Bunt is down. Keeson's only play is to Gritch covering. And there is 2 out. So Thomas moves to second. Sacrifice bunt works 1-4. And here's, oh God, why did I do that for? Ned Yost at 154 with 2 RBI. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Beats. I hope you're doing better. We always want you to be doing better. Pitch to Yost. There's a fly ball to right. Reggie goes in the corner, and that's a souvenir. Good sized crowd on hand tonight in Milwaukee. They do get the sense this series means a lot to them. No longer in the early stages of the season, and when you're 9 back, you gotta do something. Pitch to Yost. There's a base hit right side. Reggie picks it up on a hop. Thomas will score, and it's 2-1. So the Brewers are on the board. And I want to get, I played the ID puts up. If I looked at National Pastime Next Generation, I played the board reader, and I find that boring because you don't do anything. But I love the concept of the game. And if you're looking for a freebie board game that plays fast, you can't go wrong with it. Gantner is 0 for 1. He's still on a 17-game hitting streak. Keeson threw his first 9 batters, an inning and 2/3, 3 hits, 1 run it was earned, and he's only walked 1. Gantner popped out to Gritch his first time up. 2 outs, bottom of the second. And this time he hits a ground ball up the middle. Foley over to Carew, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Brewers are on the board after 2. It's the Angels 2, Milwaukee 1. So Jim Slayton starts the third. Carew, so if you missed it in the opening, his .413 batting average is the best in baseball. One of the Blue Jays is hitting .403. I forget who it is. Slayton's pitch, Carew, ground ball. Another fantastic diving stab by Gantner by the bag. And he threw out Carew from his knees. And Jim Gantner, who only is ranked as 6, which is slightly above average, saves another hit. And again, Slayton tips the hat. And so does Carew. What a stab by Gantner. Speaking of which, and if Al's watching, hopefully he'll continue. Speaking of stabbing, hopefully he'll continue his 1976 O.J. Simpson What If series using Strat Football. You'll have a good time watching it. So here's Bobby Gritch. Bobby is singled and scored his first time up. That was in the first. Slayton's pitch. Little nubber down to Young on the grass. Long throw to Cooper. And Gritch is out. And so Milwaukee's defense is shining through. Young, he got it in the glove and flicked it in his hand in one fluid motion and got enough on it to throw out Gritch. So 2 out for Reggie. Had that RBI double for California that scored Carew in the first. Pitch from Slayton. And Jackson sends this one into right. Marshall Edwards picks it up on 2 hops. And Jackson is now 2 for 2. Brings up Don Baylor. Who has an RBI. Sac fly. Yeah, it does. And you should ID. You should show that off. It's a lot like the Apicone that I showed. It's all there, and in fact, depending on what season you pick up, and ID can show this tonight, the lineups are already there. It is the closest thing ever to plug and play that you'll find in a spreadsheet. So here's Baylor. Baylor is 0 for 1 with an RBI. And that's a ground ball to Yount. He flicks it over to Cooper, and that retires the side. So the Angels get a hit and leave a man after 2.5. California 2, Milwaukee 1. And so Yount, Cooper, and Don, I'm not money, will bat for the Brewers this inning. Keeson has yet to strike anybody out, and Yount singled his first time through. 11 game hitting streak for Robin. How you doing, Todd B? Brought your brown bag. What you having, buddy? And there's a lot. ID will show it to you, but there's a lot of seasons available. It's not every season, but from dead ball through 2018, you can pick your poison. Keeson delivers, and there's a fly ball left center. Back goes Benitez to the track. He makes a long run and catch. He must have run 30 yards to make that catch, and Yount goes back with 1 out. Cecil Cooper singled his first time up. Here's the pitch. That's a little chopper. Foley on the grass. Over to Carew. And Cooper beat it out. Foley made a good effort on it, but as I said, it has rained throughout the day. Not hard enough to delay anything, but just makes that grass a little bit denser. And Cooper, who is not fast for a ball player, but faster than us, beat it out. So here's Don Money. He's 0 for 1. Popped out in third. His first time up. Keeson's pitch. Little chopper right down, a little liner right down to DeCinces, and he puts that frozen rope away for the second out. So 2 out for Ogilvie, who's 0 for 1. He also popped out the Foley. There was no tinkering with the rosters, Robin. And ID Jester says they just released 1899, which caused the monkey from HR to go chat with the Beatles turtle. Here's the pitch to Ogilvie. Fly ball to right. Jackson in the corner makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, a hit, no winners. We played 3 at County Stadium. It's still the Angels 2, Milwaukee 1. So it'll be DeCinces, Benitez, and Foley. Doug is 0 for 1. He lined to third, and Slayton has settled in after that rough first inning. Here's the pitch, and there's a line drive to Ogilvie and left in the first out. Here's Juan Benitez. Juan walked his first time up and then caused all sorts of havoc on the base paths, but could not score. Slayton, ground ball to third. Money better hurry, but Benitez kind of stopped. I wondered if he thought that was going foul. And that ended up being an easy play. 2 out for Tim Foley. Tomorrow night, Philadelphia and Atlanta, 7 o'clock here or there, unless someone says they want to tag along for a double play. And Thursday afternoon, it is that's a Saturday day game, for those who are wondering. And so on Thursday, the lunchtime game will be California and Detroit, which at this point of the season, as we head towards Memorial Day, hard to believe we're into week 7 already. Or week 8. This is week 8. Could be the American League Championship Series. ID, have you got a guest lined up for Thursday? So Tim Foley's 0 for 1. Grounded out to short his first time up, and this time he singles up the middle between Yount and Gantner. Thomas picks it up, and Foley's on with a 2-out single. Brings up Bob Boone, is 0 for 1. He grounded out to second his first time up. Slayton's pitch. There's a chopper to Gantner. Quick throw to Cooper, and that retires the side. So after 3.5, no runs to hit, no errors for the Angels. They've got 4 stranded so far and lead Milwaukee 2-1. So Gorman, Thomas, Ted Simmons, and Marshall Edwards for Milwaukee here in the 4th. Gorman walked his first time up. The lone walk of the game for Keeson, and I'm going to say no one struck out, but here comes Thomas, and that's the best chance to break that jinx.
Dead ball.
Or hit him. Either way. So Thomas takes one in the helmet and scampers off to first. For Ted Simmons, who is 0 for 1. Because your Tampa Bay Devil Rays did something right, ID. So yeah, Stormin Gorman gets hit by the pitch, and here's Simmons. 10 is 0 for 1. Flew out to deep right. Simmons hits this one in the deep left. Back goes Downing, and he makes the catch in the corner. And so Thomas holds up at first, and with 1 out again, you're not going to sacrifice Marshall Edwards again. It's the same exact situation we were in this first time up. Runner on first. Runner was Thomas on first, so you really don't want to hit and run here. Keeson's pitch. That's up the middle, right back to Bruce. Throws it to Carew, and Edwards is retired. So at this time, the only difference is it counts as an at-bat. 2 out for Ned Yost, who had an RBI single in the second. That was the low Milwaukee run. Bottom of the 4th, 2-1 California. Keeson delivers, struck him out. He swung on and missed, and that's the first strikeout of the game. We moved to the 5th. Gorman would have rushed. Well, if you've been hitting the head, Todd. You can make an argument, I think, for Simmons in the Hall of Fame. After 4, California 2, Milwaukee 1. Downing, Carew, and Bobby Grinch will be batting for the 5th, and then we'll have story time with Uncle Ron. What I'm going to do is not to throw Clinton off, because Clinton asked nicely last night if I could leave up the box score at halfway through. So I will do story time then. So Downing is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch, and there's a fly ball to left. Ogilvie in the foul territory. Got it. Not a lot of room along the line here at County Stadium. Rod Carew is 1 for 2. Oh, Slayton threw 19 batters, 68 pitches. 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He has walked 1 and struck out none. Here's Rod Carew is 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Ground ball, yeah, by the bag at second, over to Cooper, and that's Cooper. Dave Gardner says, my team was the Angels in 1980. We won the town championship. How about that? So I have a soft spot for the Angels and that logo. I remember 75, 76. I don't know if it was in a box of Rice Krispies or I think so. That had the stickers in the box. And I remember on the dress, on my little dresser as a kid, having a red sticker and an Angel sticker with that specific Angels logo on it. But that had already been corrupted and was a Red Sox fan. So Grinch is 1 for 2. He is singled and driven in a run. Or scored. Singled and scored in the first. Slayton's pitch. Grinch. Fly ball to left. Ogilvie makes the catch. And so halfway home is Jim Gantner steps to the box. It's the Angels 2. We'll start here with the batters. The Angels 2 and Milwaukee 1. So, Clinton, let me know when you're ready to have it switched. So those are the batting stats halfway home. If Tim Simmons had the worst baseball cards, Don Mossy is that you can remember. Don Mossy's is pretty bad. And Glenn Hubbard with the snake, I thought that was pretty cool. All right, how do I determine what games go on the schedule? I know, we'll show the pictures here for a second. Good outing for Slayton and Keeson so far. They're both pitching awful well, and they've both had good years. And playing rather quickly. All right. I'll tell the story on camera. Don Mossy, if you're not familiar with that, look it up, because those are some of the ugliest baseball card pictures. How do I determine the schedule? I look a week or two in advance. I'll look probably Thursday afternoon, because that will be that we'll have played all 3 games for the week. I know that we're doing I slot for 3, the 2 daytime games, because you guys like streams at lunch. But honestly, the primetime game gets more viewers. So I look at that. I look at any game on a Wednesday, unless I know there's something specific. We did the Reggie game, or if I know that there's a Saturday night game that would be at night, I might sneak in the Friday night game like I did with St. Louis and Atlanta. But what I look to do is I look at the standings, have a pretty good idea of what the real life standings were, and try to find what I think are the best matchup of a given day. So Wednesday I'll take a look and say, oh, this one's pretty easy. They both played in the American League Championship Series that year. It's a pretty good chance you're going to get a good game. And I try to do one for each league, and so it really doesn't matter which day I do the doubleheader. I think this Saturday is the first one I'm actually doing 2 Saturday, or this week's the first 2 Saturday games. For the Saturday game, I treat it like just if you were watching on NBC in that era. So I don't look at night games. I look to see what MLB. I actually could go and look at the list, but what did MLB want NBC to televise, and just how good are those teams? So I don't know if California and Detroit was on the NBC buffet for that Saturday, but clearly the best 2 teams in the American League are going to get the slot here on the replay. And then I try to find the best National League matchup on either day and throw it in there. So you're not being bombarded with the same, even though this week you're seeing California twice, you're not being bombarded by the same teams over and over and over again. And since the Yankees aren't doing all that well and the Mets are terrible, I'm not beholden to show teams in big markets. So when I do a replay, you're going to see the teams that are doing well as opposed to the teams that would be generally big television draws. And so, Mr. Mike, I hope that answers your question. And now, back to the game. As Jim Gantner steps up, we will do I gotta take a sip. Gantner still sitting on a 17-game hitting streak. He is 0 for 2. He's in through 18 batters, 67 pitches, 4 innings, 4 hits, a run, it was earned, a walk, and a strikeout. Top the second, he grounded it short. And I know Todd B was kind of making a ha-ha funny with that, what ABC would do, but ABC did not have the right to televise games into home markets. You had to be cleared. So if they showed the Yankees, which is clearly the best national draw and always has been, they could not show that game back in New York. George Steinbrenner had to sign off on it, and obviously the Bobby Mercer Oriole game from '79 was one that was shown back in New York. But they wanted to avoid some of those things because they needed clearance in the markets. And unlike Saturdays, which you got a decent game on NBC, MLB didn't really change your schedule around for the Yankees, and so, or for ABC, and so some years, some of those matchups were terrible, were absolutely terrible. They got lucky once in a while because baseball is such a good game, but anywho, Gantner is 0 for 2. Top the second, grounded it short, and the streak goes to 18 as he puts that one right along the wall, and right field is going for 3 to throw down is not time. So what a way to break continue your hitting streak. Now at 18, that got past Jackson and then died on that muddy surface in the outfield. And so Jackson had to pick it up out of the mud, and by that time Gantner did not stop going around second, and so he's got a triple. And there's 1 out, the tying run at third for Robin Yount, who was 1 for 2. Beeson delivers, popped up. Boone takes off the mask, puts some rain in his eye, and makes the catch for an out. Come on, Reggie, stay awake. 1 out for Cooper. Cecil is 2 for 2. He singled twice. Eason's pitch, and there's a fly ball to center. Right center, Benitez has it. Gantner will tag and score without a throw, and we are tied at 2 here in the 5th. So the Brew Crew is happy about that, and here's Don Money. Don is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to left center, Benitez. 2 out. No, that's 3. So after 5, the Brewers tie it, a run and a hit, no error. So California 2, Milwaukee 2. So if there's a game that you went to, guys, in 1982, wow, Slayton's getting the fatigue warning on 73 pitches, let me know. So that's how I choose my game. Reggie Jackson has a single, a double, and drove in a run in the first. Slayton's pitch, Jackson, fly ball to right, Edwards, foul. So 1 and 2 to Reggie. Slayton hasn't struck out anybody. Pitch to Jackson. There's a liner right to Cecil Cooper, who makes the catch, 1 out. Both teams have 2 runs on 5 hits. No error. Here's Don Baylor. Don is 0 for 2 with an RBI. Clinton can sleep easier tonight. Here's the pitch. There's another liner to Cooper. How about that? 2 out for Doug DeCinces, who's 0 for 2. Line to third, line to left. Slayton. Fly ball right center. Edwards has it nailed. And so Angels go in order. 5.5 in the books. We're still not at a 2. So Ogilvy, Thomas, and Simmons. You face Keeson here in the 6th. Keeson at 82 pitches. Ogilvy's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to center. Benitez, 1 out. Here's Gorman Thomas. He has walked and scored. And a shout out to Al Red Sox fan. Hope you're doing okay, buddy. We miss you and care about you. So be back soon, all right? Pitch to Thomas. Ground ball to Foley. Over to Carew. And that's an out. So Keeson humming right through here in the 6th. Ted Simmons is 0 for 2. Benitez is a busy man. Absolutely right. Simmons popped up right side. Carew reaches in. Can't get it, but what's this? He took a sip of someone's beer. Not sure what's going on with that. I didn't talk to him yesterday for just more than a second. And he didn't usually, if he has a quiet day, he'll stream pretty much the late night shift and didn't stream this overnight. So he wasn't feeling all that great on Saturday night. And so maybe it just caught up to him. So hopefully that's it. Simmons is 0 for 2. Pitch from Keeson. Fly ball to center, and indeed, Benitez is a busy man as he puts down his 6th put out of the game. We played 6. Clean inning for Keeson. It's California 2, Milwaukee 2. Yeah, I'm not going to say that out loud, Beatles, but that's absolutely true. So Benitez is 0 for 1 with a walk. Grounded to third in the 4th. Slayton at 85 pitches. And ground ball to Yount, who makes a diving stop in the mud. Gets up, he hurt himself, throws out Cooper. He says he's fine. What a remarkable play by Robin Yount. He smashed his wrist into that infield. And even though it's giving and it's squishy and all that with the light rain, that had to hurt. He keeps looking at it. He keeps shaking it like he's, trying to get the oral thermometer back to normal. But he's going to stay in. How about that? Here's Tim Foley. He's 1 for 2 with a single. And Foley's going to be pinch hit for. It's going to be Freddie Lynn. So Fred at 327 on the year, 4 home runs and 10 RBI, and is a good choice. Yep, that was a web gem. Pitch from Slayton. Lynn gone. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Could have been the other one, Beats. Here's Bob Boone. 0 for 2. Again, now flexing those fingers in his glove, we got a shot of that there. As long as he can feel with it. It's a cool night, but not cold by any stretch. 66 degrees. The humidity, because it is still a light rain here in Milwaukee, will make that sting a bit more. He would bat 4th in the bottom of the 7th. Pitch to Boone. Up the middle. Gantner's got this one by the bag over to Cooper for the out. And so it's time to stretch here in Milwaukee. Nothing across. It's the Angels 2, the Brewers 2. And take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. And it's root, root, root for the Brew Crew. If they don't win, I had money on California. And it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Now that should dispel anybody from ever asking me to sing ever again. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 2-2 California, 2-2. Scores from around the Sims, 89 Royals and 03 Mariners, no score, top of the 7th. What engine is that in, Mr. Todd? They're playing for the bunt. Edwards is going to swing. Kingston at 96 pitches as we start the home half of the 7th. It's Gubaza versus Pinheiro. Yep. Oh, Digital Diamond. And yes, ID, I'm a terrible singer, which is why I don't do it. So if we ever do Dungeons and Dragons again, I'm not doing the song for Quillison. And that was almost beatific. No, that was, Eric from Higher Ground says that when Al and I sing that, his dog starts to whine. With good reason. Pitch to Edwards is a fly ball to center. Benitez is in. We're not going to have a sing-off. Trust me. I don't think ID wants it. I don't think I want it. Especially because there are people who legitimately can sing in this family of friends. Guy in Mac, Delaware, as a matter of fact, has a pretty good set of lungs. Ned Yost is 1 for 2 with an RBI and a strikeout. No, it's not Gubaza. Pitch to Yost. Got him! He swung on and missed at a junk pitch from Keeson on an 0-2 count, and that's the second strikeout for Bruce. So through 27 batters, Keeson 6 2/3 innings, 5 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. 103 pitches, and a good job by Keeson, but he's in danger of not getting a decision. Gantner expanded his hitting streak to 18. Wow, that was his first triple of the year, and he only hit 2. 1 for 3, and there's a ground ball foul at the So it's a full count. Everybody up here in Milwaukee. He delivers right back to Keeson, over to Carew, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We played 7, California 2, Milwaukee 2. I didn't even look. Ned Yost, however, has a World Series ring. Well, my pleasure there, DJ John 4444. So Jim Slayton is down to a base runner now. Brian Downing is batted 28. So through his first 27, 7 innings as we start the 8th, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a walk and a strikeout, 96 pitches. So Slayton running on fumes. But Buck Rogers is looking at Raleigh Finger and saying, base runner, any base runner. Downing is 0 for 3, and there's his base runner right there. Ogilvy made a bad start on that ball into left center, and Downing is on with a double. And so out goes Slayton, and in comes Riley Fingers. We got ourselves a pitching change. Yeah, smash that like button, please. We got ourselves a pitching game. This game is coming to you from County Stadium in Milwaukee. Now take a look at the dates there, because if the Brewers, before I go to the game launch, if the Brewers are going to make the playoffs, look, Riley Fingers was the Cy Young Award winner and American League MVP in 1981 in the split season. But take a look at those available dates. He's gone as of September 2nd with an injury. And if you go back and look at some videos that are posted on YouTube of the real American League playoffs and World Series, Pete Ladd, for goodness sakes, is their closer down in the last month of the year. So they got to make Riley Fingers make some hay while he's out there. His last game was the 16th. He hasn't thrown in 2 nights. 2 innings against the White Sox, 2 hits and 2 strikeouts. So on the year, he's eminently hittable. 18 innings, 23 hits, including 3 home runs. 7 runs all earned. He walked 6 and struck out 18. 3-2 with 6 saves, although this is a win situation for him. He did pick up the save in there. So here's Rod Carew. Milwaukee playing for the bunt. Cooper will come in. Downing on second. Fingers is ready. Here's the pitch. And he foul tipped the bunt. So it's a ball and 2 strikes. And now the infield goes back to normal. So 1-2. Fingers is ready. Carew strikes out. He looked at a 1-2 pitch on the inside corner, and Fingers licks his fingers walking back to the mound. Big out for Bobby Grich. Here's a single. He's 1 for 3. Fingers is from Steubenville, Illinois. My mom's favorite player. She would always joke about him and the mustache. And so Raleigh got around. Not with my mother. Don't think that. That's bad. That's bad. I'm going to go talk to HR right now. But, was with the Padres and made them respectable. Very good with the Brewers, as I said, won the Cy Young, and was such a huge part of Oakland's 3 World Series wins in the 70s. Pitch to Grich, ground ball to Gantner, over to Cooper. And Downing moves on to third, 2 out. So for the Brewers, it'll be Yount, Cooper, and Money in the bottom of the inning, but here's Reggie Jackson. Reggie's 2 for 3. He's got a double and an RBI. Now 25 on the year. Fingers delivers, ground ball up the middle, and Gantner again from his knees throws out Cooper. Unbelievable defense by the Brewers. Keeps this game at 2 after 7.5. And yes, he was the MVP in 81. So what a play by Jimmy Gantner to keep this a 2-2 game. Just look at the speed on that to make a dive in the wet and then get up on the pivot to throw the strike to Cooper. And so Bruce Geeson, who's got to be close to E. Robin Yount, 1 for 3. All right. Good to see you, Beats. We'll talk to you tonight, I'm sure. So bottom of the 8th, 2-2 the score. Geeson delivers, and Yount hits a fly ball to the left. Downing is there. No, it's DeCente, pardon me. 1 out, and we got ourselves a pitching change. Gene Mock wants Don Arce. California's bullpen is slightly better than my singing, but not much. So with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th, we got another pitching change. This game is coming to you from County Stadium in Milwaukee. So this is Arce's 12th appearance, all out of the pen. He was a starter. And again, if you're wondering about the Angels and their bullpen come October, note the availability dates. He's done as of the middle of July. Anyway, against the Indians his last time out, and that was Sunday. An inning, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a walk and a strikeout. Did not pick up anything for his line. He's 4-1 with 3 saves. Nobody on, 1 out for Cooper. And Cecil has singled twice and driven in a run. Pitch from Asse up the middle. Beniquez to the track. Makes the catch rather easily. And there's 2 out. There's still no wind. It has rained all through this game, but not hard enough to put a monkey wrench in the proceedings. Or maybe a Bobby Catalano wrench. Here's Don Money. Don is 0 for 3. And I'm going to put Paul Molitor in the game. So Molly will pinch hit for the slumping Money. Paul at 310. He must have did something to get under Rogers' skin, because the last 2 Milwaukee games I've done, Molitor hasn't started. And when you have 666 at-bats, you play in a lot of games. In fact, he played in 160. I just might have picked the 2 games he didn't play. He's at 310, 3 homers and 13 RBI. For the Angels in the 9th, it'll be Baylor, DeCinces, and Beniquez. Asse delivers, struck him out. So Molly looks at a strike on the inside corner, and we've played 8. We go to the 9th. It's cardiac time. Clinton, put on the earbuds. Cardiac time, California 2, Milwaukee 2. So Molitor comes into play third. Kelleher, by the way, I missed it, is now the shortstop for the Angels, and we'll tell you about him in the bottom of the 9th. So Baylor, DeCinces, and Beniquez, and Kelleher, if anyone should reach. Baylor is 0 for 3. Fingers can go a long time. He can throw up to 50 pitches. He threw 6 in the 8th. Pitch to Don, fly ball to left. Ogilvie, 1 out. Comfortable 64 degrees. Everyone kind of feeling happy. 2-2 in the 9th. Here's Doug DeCinces. He's 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. And what was that? And Molitor, it was a little lined off the mound. Molitor with the presence of mind to come get it. Bang, bang, throw. Got him. Ho, ho, ho. Paul Molitor with a heads-up play. That was headed for fingers in the mound. Molitor came in, was just running, and when it hit off that wet mound, it just took a funny hop right to Paul, and he got off the bang bang throw. So here's Beniquez. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. So 2 out. Ogilvie, Thomas, and Simmons due up for Milwaukee in the bottom of the 9th. Pitch from fingers. There's a regular ground ball to Molitor. Over to Cooper. And now it really is cardiac time. The Angels go down in order. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's the Angels 2, the Brewers 2. So Ogilvie, Thomas, and Simmons, the face on Asse. Ogilvie is 0 for 3. He popped out to short, flew out to deep right, and flew out to right center. The Angels play normal. Reggie Jackson just kind of standing there. Asse delivers. Ogilvie, sharp grounder to Carew. Takes it to the bag himself, 1 out. So Kelleher is a 3-inch short, in case you're wondering. Here's Gorman Thomas. He has been walked. He was plunked by a pitch. And he grounded out to short. 2-2, bottom of the 9th. Asse delivers. Fly ball to right. Back goes Jackson. Brown thought it was gone. It settled into Reggie's glove on the grass. 2 out for Ted Simmons, who's 0 for 3. If the game moves to the 10th, Kelleher, Boone, and Downing. Pitch from Asse. Simmons, fly ball to center. Back goes Beniquez to the track, and it's gone! Ted Simmons, walk it off! You just beat the California Angels 3-2. How about that? Benitez had a chance at it, and it goes into the black. And the Brewers get a second win in a row. And California will lose this one 3-2. And so the recap, a happy one here if you're a Brewers fan. California led 2-0 in the first. Reggie Jackson doubled home Rod Carew to make it 1-0, and then Don Baylor's sac fly made it 2-0. And then back chipped the Brewers. Ned Yost scored Gorman Thomas in the second to make it 2-1. Cecil Cooper with a sac fly in the fifth made it 2-2, and Ted Simmons hit that one into just over the wall in center, 406 feet to win the game, 3-2 for Milwaukee. Jim Gantner 1 for 4 with a triple and 3 fantastic plays to save the game. And so pitching wise, Raleigh Fingers gets the win, 2 innings and a strikeout. Jim Slayton 7 good innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a walk and a strikeout. Don Arce takes the hard luck loss. He goes to 4-2. Bruce Keeson should have won this. 7 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a walk and 2 strikeouts. It took us 2 hours and 42 minutes to play it. Reggie Jackson went 2 for 4. Cecil Cooper went 2 for 3. But Ted Simmons, the DH, he's got to be your MVP. Wins it with a 2-out homer in the bottom of the ninth. 3-2, and so Milwaukee moves to 19-16, and California drops to 25-14. Since this is the only game we're doing from the day, I will pop on camera. Raleigh or chicken, all fingers are good. Yeah, yeah. This season has been so much fun, and I really do think I should look at the camera. I really do thank all of you who voted for 82. We've had so much cardiac stuff. I hope it translates into some pennant races coming down the stretch, but the games have been entertaining. All right, so there were 12 other games played on this day. We will have 1,630 something to go after here. So this was the only Wednesday game. We have 2 games on Saturday, starting with Philadelphia and Atlanta tomorrow night. The 2-day games on this May 19th, Pittsburgh beat San Francisco 6-5. Both teams are 500. Don Robinson gets his 3rd win of the year. And Jason Thompson 2 for 3 with the 16th home run and 3 RBI. Dave Kingman, by the way, has 18 RBIs. Thompson's 42 RBI leads Major League Baseball. Dodgers beat the Cubs 4-3. Tom Niedenfuer gets a win when he's not pitching on national television. That's his 2nd. Toronto 22-14. They stunned Cleveland 11-4. Len Barker, by the way, takes a loss. Willie Upshaw 3 for 5 hits his 5th homer of the year. The Red Sox fall to Seattle 3-1. Larry Anderson goes to 1-3. Detroit. So Milwaukee will gain no ground here. Detroit all over Oakland 11-5. Dan Petrie gets the win 2-2. Henderson 2 for 3. Ricky Henderson. No, not Ricky. Yeah, Ricky Henderson 2 for 3 with his 3rd home run and 3 RBI. Not good news for Baltimore. They fall another game behind. Minnesota beats them 2-1. Pete Filson gets his 1st win. Philadelphia shuts out Houston 12-0. Steve Carlton goes for his 3rd win. He's 3-5. Gary Matthews 3 for 4 with a homer and 2 RBI. Reds beat the Mets 5-4. Tom Seaver gets his 1st win. Guess who he beat? Pat Zachary. Dave Concepcion 3 for 5 with a double. Montreal over Atlanta 7-1. Ray Burris goes to 2-3. Andre Dawson with his 8th home run. The White Sox beat the Rangers 9-3. Richard Dotson goes to 4-2. In a rain-shortened game, Robbie, the Royals beat the Yankees 4-1. Paul Splittorff goes to 3-0. And finally, St. Louis beats San Diego 6-0. Joaquin Andujar goes to 3-4. George Hendrick hit 3 home runs. He's got 11 on the year. All right, Bobby. Good to see you here. So these are the quick standings now that we've played it. So California's lead over the White Sox has shrunk to 2.5. Detroit now has a commanding 6-game lead over Baltimore. It's not impossible, obviously, but Detroit's 28-7. They're doing 1984 2 years early. Montreal's lead over St. Louis is 4.5, and the Dodgers have a comfortable 4-game lead over San Francisco. So it's the Phillies and Braves tomorrow in prime time. Think California Angels and Detroit Tigers Thursday at noon. Tonight on ID Gestures channel, it's Stratomatic Delaware and ID chatting away. And so for all of us at Retro Sports Network, I'm Ron Juckett. We'll talk to you tomorrow night for the Phillies and the Braves.